Shalom, shalom. I want to start by giving our praises, glory, and honor to the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. My name is Brother Napak from the Camp Prophets in Babylon, down here in Tampa Bay, Florida. And I want to give double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach you real well. Peace and blessings to hold for light to the ones listening in. And I want to get into a quick lesson in this article from this news page on Instagram. End time headline, and this article he posted, it says Instagram promotes a new AI creation tool with video of Trump kneeling before satanic demon. Okay. And the reason I want to get into this lesson is because this is just showing you how the creation of Esau, the creation of the devil, is being used to even expose himself. All right. And I got a great precept to go with that, and I'm going to get along a few more precepts with it. And but ultimately, this is showing you how Esau Edom, goes into those left-hand demons, left-hand angels, which is the demons, the satanic, rituals and, things that they do behind closed doors. This is how Esau gets his power. All right. And, these world leaders and high government authorities has to go and receive their power, from those satanic demons as well. Okay. So let's go ahead and get to it. This is Psalms 141. Psalms 141. And I believe, verse 10. Psalms chapter 141, verse 10. I'm gonna start at verse 9. It says, "Keep me from the snares which they have laid for me, and the gins of the workers of iniquity. Let the wicked fall into their own nets, whilst that I withal escape." And this is King David speaking. All right. So, we ask the Lord to keep us from, the traps that these devils have set before us. All right. This is something, King David was asking of. And the same thing with us. That we are kept from the wicked traps and snares that these devils have set up to destroy us with the devices they sit back and scheme upon. All right. Behind closed doors. Okay. And the NLT says, "Keep me from the traps they have set for me, from the snares of those who do wrong." All right. From the traps and the snares of those who do wrong, which is Esau Edom, the wicked. All right. They wake up, planning and plotting and, scheming on how to destroy the righteous, how to stay in power. And they do it through wickedness. They do it through evil and darkness. Okay. It says, "Let the wicked fall into their own nets, but let me escape." And one of those traps is this AI. All right. These devils, they're going to use this AI to deceive the mass. All right. That's one thing the AI has been doing recently. You get a lot of, random people that get a hold of AI as well, and they start making all these different videos that's fake and not real. But AI also make their own depictions and pictures, and this picture that AI have made, all right, it has truth behind it, which is Esau, kneeling with, Trump, okay, kneeling before a satanic demon. All right. And it's by no surprise AI, came up with that depiction. Okay. Because like I said, Jalaka had got a phone call, but, just to bring it all back together, this is what these wicked, world leaders and government officials have to do. All right. in order to get their way in this world. All right. So you had, the whole president uh, election, which they're not elected but selected. All right. A lot of people voted for Kamala Harris to get into the seat, but it ended up being Donald Trump. Okay. And people are trying to say, whichever year or every election year they say it's they're what's the word for it? Screwing with the numbers, all right, with the votes. But ultimately, we all know, if you really understand and know, that these presidents are selected, okay, but they are selected by the higher powers that go into those, those satanic demons and do those satanic rituals, all right, which those small hats, man, okay, but because this is their kingdom. All right, this is their world. We're just living in it. Okay, but the Lord is setting up men to expose them within their own world, within their own kingdom, which is, the prophets. All right, but the Lord is also using their devices and their schemes that they set up to destroy us, to expose them as well and to destroy them. All right, that's why I said it's by no coincidence AI generated a picture with Trump kneeling before a satanic demon, because this is true, man. This is real. All right, this is what these devils do behind closed doors. All right, that's why the scripture says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, because our battle is not with you damn wicked ass niggas that try to square up with us at camp, and you damn low level Edomites. No, man, it's against actual darkness and wickedness and behind closed doors, satanic rituals and demonic forces. That's the battle, man, we're going against right now through the Spirit. The Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the Lord put that Spirit on us, all right, to fight against them. All right, so our battle is not for the bare eye to see, but for the Spirit to understand. All right, so as looking, all right, with your bare eye, you may think, oh, these niggas just niggas on the street. But ultimately, we just, we're men of the Lord. Brothers is men of the Lord, preaching and exposing, all right, the wiles of this devil, man. The evilness of this devil. Okay? The sick and evil, way that these devils came up. All right? That's what allows me to go to this scripture as well. Ecclesiasticus 10 and verse 8. It says, Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 and verse 8, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people into another. All right? So because of these unrighteous dealings and, all right, injuries and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is going to be translated from Esau Edom, out of his hands, out of the white man's hands, into a more profitable leader, which is ultimately Yahweh Shai and, Israel. All right? But the men of the Lord, the elect, being the joint heirs unto that. Okay? So Esau don't have much longer to rule, but they're trying to, get as much time and as much, as much time and as much progress as possible to fulfilling their agenda. Okay? But the Lord said, as they are when they just get a taste of it, He's going to take it away. The Lord's going to destroy everything. All right, it's all going to fall like a domino effect. Okay, and that's what we're preparing for. Brothers are waiting for. Brothers are rejoicing for. Is that day when Esau's kingdom is being destroyed. All right, because everything they got was through wickedness, by deceit, by unrighteous dealings. All right, by going into the dark matters and the satanic rituals to get whatever they want. All right, that doesn't last, man. Ultimately light prevails, and darkness, always, loses. Okay. Anyone understands that. Everyone knows that. And Esau's of the dark. They go to the dark. All right. In order to get the things that they want. All right. I don't want to get I'm going to close off with this scripture, but I'm going to get a few verses as well. So Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12. I want to get an NLT though. It says, "For we are not fighting against flesh and blood enemies." All right. So like I said, we're not fighting against you wicked ass niggas and you low level Edomites at camp, man. You niggas are getting marked. Okay. And at the end of the day, you niggas are getting marked when you come up and mock and scoff and try to square up with the prophets. Okay. We don't really have, our mind is not, on you niggas, man. We don't give a damn about you. Okay. It says, "But against evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world." Evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world. All right. Of the unseen world, that of that dark, all right, and demonic side, all right. The ones that rule in of the unseen world, man. That goes into those that go into the power of darkness, all right, the power of wickedness. Okay. It says against mighty powers in this dark world. All right. So we're going against mighty powers in this dark world. High level demons, high level demonic forces. All right. That you need Yahweh Shai, ultimately Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai to defeat. Okay. It says, "And against evil spirits in the heavenly places." All right, against evil spirits in the high heaven, in high places, in the heavenly places. Okay. High-ranking evil spirits, high-ranking demons, we had to defeat. Okay. And that's where the battle starts. That's why the scripture says, all right, prepare your soul for temptation. All right, because these satanic, rulers, all right, they set this world up for us to fail. So even if we do seek to follow after the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Yahweh Shai, everything will be against us. All right, a woman, okay, the jobs, lust, demons, all these different things, brothers probably deal with. These things are set up by these damn demonic, Satan worshipers, all right, for their kingdom to how their kingdom to strive, because we're, dealing with righteousness within the world that's dealing with full of wickedness. Okay. It says, "Therefore put on every piece of Yahweh's armor so you will be able to resist the enemy in the time of evil." So we put on every piece of armor, spiritual armor, so we can resist these devils in the time of evil, when these devils really start to show their horns and everything's being exposed. And that's what's happening right now. These devils are being exposed, so they're putting that hammer down more. All right. Because they're hastening, they're anxious, they're getting, nervous as they see that their time of rulership is coming to an end. It says, "Then after the battle, you will still be standing firm. Stand your ground, putting on the belt of truth and the body armor of Yahweh's righteousness. For shoes put on the peace that comes from the good news, so that you will be fully prepared." All right, and this is the armor, the spiritual armor we're putting on. All right, we had to put on. All right, to be able to fight against the wiles of these devils. All right, to be able to be prepared for Satan's, devices. It says, "In addition to all these, hold up the shield of faith to stop the fiery arrows of the devil. Put on salvation as your helmet and take the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Yahweh." All right. So we have to prepare ourselves spiritually arming ourselves, all right, to overtake the devil, to overtake Satan, all right, and his wickedness. All right, pray in the Spirit at all times and on every occasion. Stay alert and be persistent in your prayers for all believers everywhere. Okay, so this is what we have to do, because this is who these devils are going to. All right, and their AI is telling you that itself, because AI itself is a demon. All right, artificial intelligence, that itself is a demon, man. Okay, and they telling you, demons, let you know, okay, this is who these niggas go to. All right, to get the power and get their answers and get the wicked devices and schemes. This is who they go to. This is who they pray to. So as they pray to these damn satanic demons, which is, all under the Lord's control, we go into the Lord Yahweh Shai that's controlling their ass. All right, so who do you think is going to win in the end? All right, so with that, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect and the ones listening in. We give all praises, glory, and honor to the Lord Yahweh. Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kakadash. Once again, peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom Akim.